Welcome to Spiritual Changemakers, the podcast that guides you through tough times with practical tools and inspiring stories. I'm Andrea Thomas, your host and the Sacred Transitions Coach. Join us as we hear from spiritual changemakers who have connected with their higher power and overcame adversity. Whether you are navigating a difficult transition or seeking to deepen your spiritual practice, our podcast provides guidance to help you find magic in the change. Come on this journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and transformation with us and unlock your potential to become your best self. Welcome, my beautiful souls. I am so excited to do this new podcast episode with you. And for you, I am recording this right now live from Estonia, Tallinn. I am still here, planning to embark again on my new adventure tomorrow, driving back to Romania. And I came here today because I want to talk to you about how do we befriend fear. And this is all a personal story. I'm going to share with you the fears I have been having and how I overcame them. And while I was reflecting back and looking and observing my journey in the past month and a half, I was like, okay, I've had quite a few fears that have been coming up. How did I overcome them? How did I went over them? How did I move forward? And what I realized is that I was able to befriend my fear. So in this podcast episode, I want to share with you the 5 simple steps on how you can befriend fear as well, so you can achieve and do anything you desire in your life, where you actually get to live a life just full of love, of excitement, of desire, and you don't let fear to dictate your life and to stop you to live a life full of amazing experiences. So, are you in with me for this? Then make sure you are going to stay until the end of this episode because you do not want to miss the last step, okay? So, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background on why I decided to do this specific podcast episode on this theme. And I have decided to say yes to come to Tallinn, Estonia after I got home in Romania after my father passed away. If you don't know exactly the story, make sure you go and check my last podcast episode where I share a little bit more about what has happened and how I left drastically from Tallinn to Romania because my dad passed away. And after that, I was in the apartment where I grew up, where my dad was living, and I was feeling so lost. And I asked God, I asked universe, I was like, okay, I have no idea what is next for me. Where should I go? What should I do? So once again, please guide me. Please show me the way. Show me what is next for me. And I really felt that that moment was a huge invitation for me to see, can I surrender even more? Because I think Gabby Bernstein is the one that is saying, when you think you surrendered, then surrender more. And that's exactly what I felt in that moment. I was like, whew, I feel like my heart is like in so much pain and it's cracked open. And at the same time, I know this is an invitation where I can let God in even more. God, universe, whatever word you resonate with. So I did that prayer and then I just waited. And I think 3 days after that, I received an email from Mind Valley that I was approved to volunteer to Mind Valley University in Estonia. And when I first got that email, I was like,
whoa, I didn't know if I should be happy about it, if I should go, because where my mind was actually going was, oh, I think I should go back to United States. So this is what my mind, my logical mind was telling me, because last year, guys, I have just mainly traveled and focused on my healing journey after my partner passed away. And I didn't focus on business. I didn't focus on creating. So what I actually did a lot last year, I spent almost all of my savings traveling and healing and having beautiful, amazing experiences. And I actually got myself into debt, which I have learned so beautifully to reframe debt from calling it that way to actually call it abundance for the value already received. And I have worked a lot on myself, on my mindset, on my inner words, not to judge myself for doing that, because in my past, imagine that I was always this like good girl, like good daughter who always found her way, independent, never caused problems. I never ever throughout my whole life had any type of debt or abundance for the value already received. And this was the first time that I actually allowed myself to go there, and it has been such a gift, honestly. But this is not the point of this episode. I'm gonna do another probably podcast episode where I'm gonna talk about my experience with money, with abundance, with the abundance already received. So my mind was telling me, Andrea, no, go to US and work. That's what you should do. That's the logical step. But my heart was like, oh no, like that doesn't feel right. Like every single time when I was asking, okay, should I go to United States right now? Should I go back there? Like my whole being, my whole body was contracting, and that's an indication where your soul, your intuition is talking to you. So for me it was like contraction. And then I asked for another sign, and I said, okay, if I am meant to go to United States, please make things very effortlessly for me. And what I meant by that, it's like, okay, help me like find a job, find a place to stay, like all these things to flow, to be effortlessly. And I started the procedure on that, and nothing was going smoothly, like nothing. It was actually the opposite of that. And then I started checking in. I was like, okay, how does it feel to go to Mind Valley University? And my heart and my whole being was like, yes, yes, yes. It was like so freaking excited. But my mind was keep interfering, you know? So we need to be able to bring our mind and our heart on the same page, to be on the same level. Because our mind, what is going to do, it's actually just going to try to protect you. And it's not there to make decisions. It's there to create, but not to make decisions. So then I had to be like, okay, what are the advantages? Why would it be good for me to go to my Valley University and to volunteer, which meant I got to be of service and I didn't have to pay for the ticket, which was thousands and thousands of dollars. So I was like remembering and recalling my last events that I went to Mind Valley and everything involved with Mind Valley, because I have been with them since 2017 and I have done a lot of different things. And this was actually my sixth event. And I was like, wow, if I look back and I trusted to go there, even though maybe I didn't have the time or I didn't have the money, or my mind was telling me, no, like you shouldn't do this, it's a waste of time. Every single time when I actually listened to that intuition, to that guidance, to that excitement, something transformational has happened, either during the event or after, or both. For example, last year I got to speak on stage, and oh, it was so big because I got to share my story about my journey with my partner, and I really felt how by doing that I got so much to honor him and to honor his journey as well. Whew, bear with me here. ah, because I feel quite emotional. And I embrace it fully, as you can tell. I'm not hiding. I'm gonna cry here with you. I'm gonna allow anything that comes through to come. Oh, yes, and I was telling you how it was transformational. So at the end, I've made the decision, okay, I'm gonna go to Mind Valley University. But then, as I was sharing with you at the beginning, fears came through, a lot of fears. I was like, oh my God, but the money, how the heck, like, I'm gonna like continue spending and not creating? Because yes, I do have clients that I work with one-on-one, but considering the depth I took myself into the depth in order for me to travel for so long, I was like, oh, this is just not the smartest move, Andrea. But again, listening to the heart. And that's not all. But after, the guidance that came through was, okay, you're not just going to go to Tallinn, but you are going to go with the car. You're going to drive from Romania to Tallinn, Estonia. And maybe you're thinking, it's Europe, it's close, but it is not. It's actually, if you drive nonstop from my hometown, Hunedoara, from Romania to Tallinn, Estonia, it's 26 hours, and that if you don't do any stops. And I was like, what? You want me to drive? I was like, why? Again, doesn't make any sense. Like, it's so far, it's more expensive, it's dangerous, like, it's more dangerous to actually drive than fly. And I was like, why? And then what came through, it was the big reason for that. It was actually to connect with my dad. Um, because I that is his car that I decided to drive, and I felt like it's a trip that I'm going on with him, because I haven't seen him for over a year before he passed. And I felt like this is such a beautiful way to honor him and honor his presence, because I know he is with me. So after I decided to go with a car, this is where, again, all of my fears came up. I was like, wow, but there is so much planning to do to travel from Romania to Tallinn. What if my car breaks? What if I'm not gonna have reception? What if? And my mind would actually go into the worst case scenarios. And I was like so tired even before starting. I don't know if you can relate, but when you want to do something new and your mind and your whole being, it's already tired before you do anything. That's how I felt. And then I was like, okay, I am actually aware right now of the fears that I'm having. And this is the first step for you in order to befriend your fears. Become aware of them. Become aware of what is your mind telling you, because your mind, as I shared, is just going to try to protect you. Protect you not to be uncomfortable, protect you not to do something new, protect you to be safe. That's your mind's job. So then I was like, okay, I'm aware. And then I became a witness of my fears. I was like witnessing them because I decided, I was like, okay, do I want to believe all these fears? I can believe them and then stop myself of doing this trip, which I feel like it's a once in a lifetime trip that I'm doing. Or I can choose to just witness them and not believe them and believe something else. So the second step here for you to befriend your fears is to shift your focus. To shift your focus from, okay, this is the worst that it can happen, and you go into all of the worst case scenario, to, okay, but what are actually the good things? What are the experiences? What are the memories? Why would I want to do this? And then shift your focus from, this is terrible, I'm afraid, to, oh, for me, for example, it was, I actually get to drive and be with myself for so many hours and with my dad. And not just that, but challenge myself. This is huge for me because growth, it's one of my biggest values. So I said, okay, this is an amazing opportunity to challenge myself, to go out of my comfort zone, because even though I have been traveling the world since November 2022, I have been like traveling mainly with flights. Like I have been flying, but not driving, and especially by myself for such a long time. So I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity to challenge myself. And it's also an opportunity to meet people, to meet different people that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I told myself, I'm going to go on this trip, especially on my way there, and I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to make it about meeting people. So I have used this app that you might have heard about or not, couch surfing, which I haven't used much through my travels because I was like, it's too dangerous. You don't know who you meet and blah, 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 blah. But I told myself, no, I'm going to do it. Of course, I'm going to do my research about those people with who I'm going to stay with and so on. But I'm going to do it. So throughout my travels, I used quite a bit, not in all my destinations, but quite a bit. I used couch surfing. Look it up and you'll see what it is. But do your research about it and do your research about the people you choose to stay with, because anything and everything can happen. So I was like, okay. And I also shifted my focus to, I'm actually going to visit countries and visit places that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And I decided I'm going to make it about visiting Vienna and Prague, because I've never been to these two countries and I really have the desire to see them. So shift your focus. And then the third step is to decide. It's making a decision and trusting that decision is like, okay, I'm shifting my focus and now I am deciding on which lane am I going to stay on. Am I going to continue leaving my focus on, I'm afraid my car can break and all of the worst case scenario, or you can make the decision to be like, yes, but these are the possibilities. These are the memories. These are the experiences that I can actually have as a result of saying yes to this. So this is what you want to focus on. Yes, like, okay, the possibilities, the experiences, the memories, the why you want to say yes to that. And then the fourth step on how to befriend your fears is, ready, is taking small steps. And I'm going to show you how I did it here and how you can apply it in your life as well. Because let me tell you, when I would put on my map Romania, Tallinn, I was like, oh my gosh, 26 hours. How the heck am I going to make it? Where am I going to stay? How many hours am I going to drive? And like, oh, all of these things. So this is what I did. And if you're going to apply this in your life, oh, it's going to change your life. I promise you. First and foremost, I've used ChatGPT to help me break down my trip. So I gave to ChatGPT, like, okay, I want to visit this and this and this country. And I want to leave on that date, arrive on that date, and I want to drive a maximum of 5 hours a day. So I gave ChatGPT the prompt. And after that, I was like, create my route. And that's what it did. It created my route. And then I asked ChatGPT, okay, what do I need to make my trip safe and complete? And of course, he told me about insurance for the car, health insurance, Rovineta, if I needed Rovineta and in which country. So it truly helped me and saved me probably hours on research. I was like, okay, amazing. I took that, put it on all into a folder. And after I was like, okay, but I still need to figure it out. Where am I going to sleep? And before I left, a few days, I had a meeting with a very old friend, and he's like, oh, so your first stop is in Budapest? I'm like, yes. So are you going to Coldplay? I was like, is Coldplay going to be in Budapest when I'm going to be there? And he's like, yeah. I was like, ooh, that sounds amazing. And it sounds a great way to start my trip. So I was like, let me look into that. So I looked into Coldplay. And there I was deciding to buy a ticket to Coldplay. And the reason I did that is because many years before, my partner who passed away, he wanted us to go to this concert to Coldplay in United States. And I remember saying no. He bought the tickets and everything. And I said no, because there was a very super busy weekend at work. I was working at a restaurant at that time as a server. And I was like, no, I cannot like lose this money, like hundreds, thousands of dollars because of this concert. And I have to tell you that even now, years after, this is one of the few regrets that I still have, because what can I tell you? I don't freaking remember how much money I did, but what I can remember is that I didn't create that memory with him. And because of that, I was like, wow, what a beautiful way to start my journey. Going to Coldplay, to my first concert by myself, physically, but actually going there with him and having him with me. And I did it. And it was so beautiful. And I felt his presence throughout the whole time of the concert. So applying here the small steps, what I did, I focused one country at a time, one day at a time. I was like, okay, instead of looking at the final destination, which was Tallinn, I was like, today I'm just flying to Budapest. I'm driving to Budapest. So I just need to figure it out where I'm gonna stay in Budapest. That's it. And then my next destination was Vienna. So I was like, okay, now I just need to figure out where I'm gonna stay in Vienna. So I just broke it down country by country, stop by stop, destination by destination. And I just focused on that instead of looking at like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to arrive to Tallinn? And I have to tell you that it worked amazingly. And by the end, in like my last 2 days, because I did a 9-day trip from Romania coming to Tallinn, in my last few days, I was like, okay, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted of driving so much. And I had moments throughout my trip where I was like, why the heck did I do this? Of course I did. But at the same time, I've met wow, I've met some amazing people through my couch surfing experience. I haven't used couch surfing in each and every stop I had, but I used it 4 times, which is wow. It's been phenomenal. And my first couch surfing, it was in Budapest, and it was actually with Michelle, an amazing Italian guy. A super, like, he's retired, he's in his 50s, he had 14 businesses throughout his life, and now he's mentoring other entrepreneurs. And it was like this amazing experience. He hosted me so beautifully. And not just that, but the next day he was like, you know, I actually have to go to Vienna to solve some things with my bank. Let me come with you. And I have a friend there to which we can stay at. And I was like, amazing. So the next day he drove with me at Vienna, and then we stayed at the beginning, but then I stayed at his friend's house for 2 nights, an amazing couple. And that guy actually introduced Michelle, I think he was saying, 11 years ago or something like that, to couch surfing. And he was saying how much he loves hosting people and how much he loves uh, going to other countries and using couch surfing, because it's such a unique experience where you get to actually interact with local people. You get to know about themselves, about the culture, about the country, like very different things than if you would stay in a hotel. And I was like, wow, this is one of the best decisions I've done. And then, of course, he also gave me some tips on how to choose or not a host, especially as a woman when you are hosted by a man, because we do have those fears. So he gave me a lot of tips. And if you want to go and travel and use couch surfing, which is pretty much free accommodation, where local people host you because they are doing this exchange. They want to know about you, they want to know about your travels, your experiences. Some people want to learn better English. Like in Poland, I had another couple who hosted me, and they said one of their main reason is because they want to practice their English and they want to improve their English. And again, I had a fantastic experience over there too, where they waited for me with dumplings and we went in the center. I only stayed for 1 night, but it was so beautiful. So the fifth step here that I want to share with you that is going to help you befriend fear is trust and surrender. It's fully trust. Once you have made that decision, it's go within and be like, okay, I'm trusting that this decision is for my highest good and for the highest good of everyone involved, of everyone I'm going to meet, of everyone I'm going to touch. And truly surrender to the magic that it's about to unfold when you follow your heart, when you follow your intuition, when you follow the guidance of your soul, of your highest self. Because that's when truly the magic of life unfolds. Because if you're just going to try and operate from your mind is so limited and it can only comprehend such a small amount of what is actually possible for you to experience and for you to be here in the world. And once you're able to tap into that, to tap into your heart, to tap into your intuition, to follow that guidance, a realm of possibilities it's opening up for you. And while I'm sharing all of this with you, now in August, I don't know when you're gonna listen to this podcast episode, but now in August, I have created a wait list for one-on-one coaching with me. And I opened 3 more spots. If you desire to tap into your intuition, tap into your guidance, to live a life full of miracles and abundance, then reach out on my Instagram. My Instagram is going to be in my DMs below. Reach out on my Instagram and send me a DM with waitlist. And then I will reach out with the application process to see if we are a good fit to work together. And that is for those that are ready, because let me tell you, the people that work with me, that means they are ready for a massive shift, for a transformation, because I'm truly an activator. And those that are around me, they know that their life is going to fully transform. So this is for you if you're ready for a massive transformation. If you desire to go on a journey to tap more intuition, maybe you have also noticed and seen on my social media, if you have followed me, that I also work with Akashic Records. And this is one thing I have done here. I have done some events while I was at Mind Valley University on how to read your own Akashic Records, how to connect with your Akashic Records. So I'm putting together an immersion where we are going to go on a journey for 6 to 8 weeks on how you can utilize the Akashic Records to harness your power, to harness your intuition. So you go and you co-create life with the universe, with your highest self. And if you want to find out when the doors are opening to this course, send me a DM again with Akashic Records on my Instagram. And my Instagram is at I am Andrea with double E Thomas. At I am Andrea Thomas. So make sure you send me a DM. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of recap of these amazing steps on how to befriend fear. So I said 5 simple steps, like very simple steps to befriend fear. So we have awareness. You're gonna become aware of your fears and you're gonna witness them. Yes, you're gonna be like, oh, this is interesting what my mind is telling me. So witness them. The second step is like your focus. Where do you place your focus on? Do you place your focus on what your mind is telling you initially, which is like the worst case scenario and the worst things that can happen? Or you can choose consciously to shift your focus into, I'm wondering what are the amazing things and what are the possibilities that are opening up for me as a result of saying yes to this. And then you make a decision. That's the third step. You decide, okay, heck yes, I'm gonna do this. And I'm deciding to focus on whatever it is, on my growth, on what you are actually gaining as a result of going towards that direction. Then the fourth one is small steps. So make sure you don't focus on like, okay, I have to get all the way there, but it's like, okay, this is my final destination, but let me now just focus on my first step. And today I choose to just focus on the first step. And that's going to change your life, believe me. Then the fifth step is trust and surrender. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, trust in the guidance. Trust, and surrender. Surrender to the flow and to what's opening up for you on this journey. And trust that this decision that you decided to make from your heart, from your being, from your soul, it is for your highest good and for the highest good of everyone involved. And feel this and allow these steps to just land. And then take them and apply them because they are simple but so powerful. And this is how I made it. This is how I made it to Tallinn. This is how I made it to travel the world solo. This is how I am making it even right now to drive back to Romania because I'm about tomorrow 25th of July to start again my drive back to Romania. And after Romania, oh, something super exciting is coming, like a new destination where I haven't been, and I'm not gonna reveal it yet. So stay tuned. Follow my podcast, follow my Instagram, my stories, because something really transformational is about to come. And I'm so excited because I know by me going there, it's going to be this huge exponential growth. And I'm going to be able to show up for you guys, for all the beautiful souls that are tapping here and are listening to these messages. I'm going to be able to show up from even like a purer connection and energy, because my whole intention on this journey is truly to be this empty vessel through which God, divine, universe works through me. I want to be used for good, for love, for magic, and to show you guys, to guide you on how you can live an abundant life in all areas of your life. And I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here with me on this journey, for listening till the end. And I cannot wait to come back with new guests, to come up with new episodes with different energy and share with you from my heart. I love you. I appreciate you. And I truly, truly believe in you. Until next time, take care.
Thanks for tuning in to Spiritual Changemakers Podcast. To stay connected and help us reach more people like you, please subscribe, follow, and leave a comment. Join our community of spiritual changemakers on social media to connect with like-minded individuals and continue the conversation. Remember, the power to create positive change is within you. Keep showing up as your best self, and let's keep the magic of change alive. Until next time.